might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
There's the Rickmeister.
Take cover! Those soldiers move faster than I expected.
When we talk about crawfish, we talk about boiled crawfish, we talk about jambalaya, we talk about crawfish bread, we talk about crawfish pasta, crawfish etouffee, crawfish wrap, and crawfish jubilee.
Welcome to the Digibowl on Fox Kids with your host, Terry Bradshaw.
Look at me. I get to host the first Digibowl. The first. Super Bowls, they come and go. But the Digibowl, now that's exciting stuff. But can't do it alone, so luckily I have two authentic Digi-Destins, Izzy and Kari, helping me. First, let's check in with my sideline correspondent, Kari. Maybe she can tell us what in the heck a Digibowl is.
Welcome to the Bombad Cast.
What's going on, Bombad fam? We are back in all of our glory, here to hang out with a few things we're excited to talk about, announce, discuss, look at, analyze, you name it, we do it. Glad to be here. We made a pretty awesome announcement today. I've had a couple of things change in my life unexpectedly. I'll go into that at some point in the near future. It's not going to happen tonight. But with that being said, I am, and Jerry has also vowed to devote more time to doing stuff for this channel, including making reels and shorts and TikToks. We also have plans to relaunch our Patreon, the one and only club, which has been inactive for about 2 years. Honestly, it's something that we really haven't put that much time into. We want to start doing that, and overhaul it and do a lot more things for that. But most importantly, we're going to acknowledge a few people up top just because it's already here and it's already done. If you want to become a member, there is 3 different tiers you can become a member at here now. And it's the 3 tiers are very simple. You've got Bombad General, which is the $1 tier. And it's very easy. It gives you access to pretty much everything. The $2 tier is called Bombad Bombad Gungan. That'll give you access to a few other things in addition. And then, of course, the final one we have is Bombad Jedi, which is actually what inspired the title of our podcast. And that should also give you access to other exclusive things. So we're trying to work out the kinks right now. It's our first time doing this. I did, if anyone else can see it on their YouTube app, I did do a poll, and you can actually see the poll on the YouTube app and on the actual website. If you want to vote for it, I've got what was your favorite movies for summer 2025, and the options are Sinners, Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, or Fantastic Four. We're not going to end the poll until we really start discussing all these things. So if you want to become a channel member, just know that you can do that. We're also very excited. I'm going to actually change the branding just for a second so we can see it. But Bombad Gaming is returning. So Bombad Gaming will be coming back soon, probably Wednesday. I'm trying to work out the kinks right now with just figuring out what I want to do, what I want to cover. Eli, my sweet baby Eli, didn't respond to your text yet. I was working on a few things, but yes, I would love to do some Angry Birds Star Wars with you. But no, all that being said, super duper excited to be bringing back this part of the channel. It's been a while since we've done Bombad Gaming. I know Michael and I did one back in May, or no, back in that was like back in March. It's been a while, but yeah, we're going to be doing some Fortnite. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff. We've been playing Blitz as a friend group for a while, and I think it'd be a fun thing to broadcast and hang out with. But I don't do this alone, obviously, and with one of my favorite people. He recently he joined I don't even know what I'll let him describe it, but let's bring in the one and only Jerry the Cannon Junkie. Make sure you vote in the poll too, and if you want to join the membership, make sure you join the membership. How are you doing, Jerry?
Very good, comrade. Yes, here we are. Yes. Hey, no, okay, listen, I can't do the Rip Lorton ass shades and stuff that you left on my desk or something. There's also I have not been able to get the donut crumbs out of the crevices of my desk for like months now. It's been months since he was here.
Rips donuts,
so,
you know.
He rips them. Rips snorting. But listen, yeah, no, see, I'm just
awesome.
This is how I normally dress.
Yeah, it's sick.
In public, I go to public spaces just like this, and I'll sit in a coffee shop like this in those glasses.
That's right.
And I will write with a pen on a napkin, angry.
That's right. From what I've heard,
when I get done, I go, "You'll read it someday. You're gonna read this on CNN." And then I leave the coffee shop, and yeah, I have a good day. It's good. It's
good. I like that. I like that kind of attitude. That makes me happy.
No, yeah. So the actual story is I got this hat from a coworker. I came to work one day, and it was in my locker, and they said they found this at a garage sale, and it reminded them of me. So
that's wonderful.
It's probably haunted. It's probably haunted.
Sick. So we are. I'm trying to do this thing where you can start a goal on.
Oh man, I've started many a goal, never finished. love to do that one day. That'd be great.
Maybe it'll figure itself out. I don't know. We're trying to figure this out. We got some top fans right now. So if you're chatting in the comments,
we do.
It's kind of cool to see this right now. We got Eli as being number one, Quicksilver Girl, which is Miss Taylor, as number 2. 889-884M is number 3. So it's something we've been having a lot of fun with, and we don't have fun just by ourselves. We have fun with other people, and we're gonna bring in one of my favorite people, one of the highest ranking members of guest in Bombadcast fandom. Yeah, no, it is. I guess just Bombadcast culture, and you can see him right here in the thumbnail.
I mean,
and wonderfully enough,
this is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was gonna say this is the guy that we cut the Bombad cloth with him. Like we created what Bombad truly would be on the first episode he came on in the trial of this man.
It became
the
that
title of that episode. Yes.
But that being said, we're going to bring in a good friend of the podcast, someone that was very eager to talk about the subject that we're talking about tonight. And, we're going to look at the future. We're going to look at the past. We're going to analyze all kinds of things. The one, the only, Jarod, the Dark Jedi.
Oh, I was waiting for a clip. I thought I had a minute to pick up a glass and go cheers to Bombad.
Play a clip.
Bombad's back. All right. But
That was good. Hey, buddy. Glad to have you here. Super excited. You expressed deep interest in this when I pitched it on Fortnite, and
Oh yeah,
it's look at me. This is a hell of a roster right here. Look at this. My
Yeah.
God. Oh, look at I like this. I like Savage Press's #1 Meat Rider comment. That's really good, actually. Can you pull that up, Jerry?
Yeah, hold on,
Savage
let me
Press's
grab it for ya.
#1 Meat Rider.
He created Bombad by sucking at trivia, sucking a trivia, not even sucking at trivia.
I love to suck trivia.
Oh,
No, hey,
Love it.
listen. All I'm hearing, despite the insult, is that Bombad was built off of my back. Much like
Well-
Epic Confrontations, it was built off of my
mean,
back.
Not just your no. If it wasn't for you, me, Spiny, Jerry, and a robot, and Eli, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, gotta love that
Proto-
droid.
it's a
Roto-
listen. It is a cocktail. It wasn't just straight on the rocks, a straight Jarod
No.
on the rocks. Okay, come on.
It was not.
No.
That being said,
Where's the splash of lime?
Where's the splash of lime? Put the lime in the coconut, you shake it all
Drink
up.
it
Put
all
the lime in the coconut, you shake it all up. Put
Where
the
are those
lime in the
Droidicas?
coconut and shake it all up. Okay, let's get started, boys. Very excited. This was a summer of hype. This was one of the few times in my life that I have actually looked forward to a summer movie. Like, I guess, how would you say? I almost said set list, but it's not a set list. A summer
a
movie
run.
release. I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. So, like I remember back in February thinking about every single one of these movies and my hype for them, honestly, I'm not joking, has been as high as a Star Wars would be for at least two of these. Just like
Right.
my brain was going circles, like, oh my God, like, and the weird one for me, and I guess we can all share that real quick. My weirdest, most hype movie, unfortunately, and it met a little bit of the expectations, was Jurassic World Rebirth. That was my number one. That was my number one for the longest time. And then, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Sinners first.
We'll get there.
But what was everyone's number one? Just for this summer. Jarod, I want to hear yours.
I mean, I was basically split 50-50 between Superman and Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I was very excited for them going in very different like I was excited for both of them for different reasons. With regards to Superman, it was the anticipation of like having nothing but faith in James Gunn and knowing like I know this man is a phenomenal filmmaker. I know the kinds of stories he likes to tell between the Guardians trilogy and the Suicide Squad. So I was like, I know he's going to hit Superman out of the park. I was ready to see that character. I was ready to, as I said on the Nerd Academy review of Superman many times, like I was glad to see a very forceful correction to the record of who Superman is as a character. And that excited me very much. And I was so on board with everything there. And for Fantastic Four, similarly, but in a different way, I was one of the people, I've been counting the seconds to get the Fantastic Four in the MCU.
Yes.
Because again,
yes,
that was not possible for a very long time because of the just shitstorm that was the rights to a lot of Marvel characters. 20th Century Fox had the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and a number of others basically in this stranglehold that until 20th Century put itself up for sale and Disney acquired them, that now the Four and the X-Men could become a part of the MCU. And that excited me, just getting them there. And then almost this weird moment, I don't want to quite say like a monkey's paw type thing, because it didn't come with a catch, but it was this weird, like, okay, finally Fantastic Four in the MCU. They're actually not in the MCU.
Yes,
exactly. They're actually not there. I know they will be. I know they're going to be. I know that they are coming.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still that excitement of getting a Fantastic Four movie. And, the thing that I think Superman and Fantastic Four both benefit from, and I think this will be a driving force in the conversation, is that they both take brilliant advantage of the acceptance of comic book storytelling on the big screen. That there's not the need to couch the silliness or the hokiness or the campiness in some type of self-referential, self-deprecating joke. We are past the days of an X-Men movie, going into the final battle of like, oh man, this is a goofy leather outfit. Would you rather have yellow spandex? Wink. We are embarrassed to be making this movie. That's not here anymore.
Nope.
That's not here anymore. And both of these movies lean into the fact that the general audience is going to accept a level of silliness.
Yep.
A good kind of silliness that allows these stories to be told kind of unflinchingly.
Dare I say an authentic type of silliness.
That is
completely to the comic, completely to the story, completely to the feel of each individual movie. And look, I'll say this too, to add to that, Jurassic World Rebirth kind of does the same shtick of like it is that same like, yes, we could take it seriously, but we also know that we're in a universe where it's like kind of absurd that, you know, there already was a Jurassic Park. Now there's a world where the world's been canceled, and then we're gonna go to the island with all the Strand cast.
I have a lot.
Like,
this has been the theme park has been closed like 3 fucking times in this universe. Yeah,
I have a lot of opinions about Jurassic World Rebirth, and it's going to make it sound like I don't like that movie, but I did like that movie. But I have a lot of opinions, and we'll get into.
Well, okay then, Jerry. You know, what was your expectations like going into this? Like, thinking back about to like February or maybe even like January.
Well, just think about the summer movie season, man. I mean, I know I've been hyped for Superman since that first trailer dropped, you know. Every trailer for Superman has brought actual physical tears to my eyes. And not just after the first time. I'm on multiple rewatches. These trailers destroyed me emotionally. I knew I was going to be in for something, you know, like special and everything, you know. And again, I'm not a comic book sweaty as much as I, you know, as like I know Jarod like is reading the comic books all the time and stuff like that. He knows like way more of the lore than I do. But I watched a lot of like Superman stuff, like with my parents and by myself, like the Superman animated series and Justice League and Batman the animated series were all just super important to me growing up. Like I loved those shows, the old movies and everything. You know, I watched the movies with my parents. I watched Superman, and this isn't as fun of a memory now because of Dean fucking Kane. But I remember going home on Sunday nights and
that's his
watching
government
Superman
name now, Dean fucking Kane.
Dean fucking Kane. The Adventures of Superman and Lois, which was a lot of fun watching with my parents and stuff like that, you know, back in the day. Like we always had our Sunday evening show after church, right? And that was it was a good time. And I got to watch it with my parents. We'll talk about this here in a second when we get to Superman, but that was the one that was like really hitting for me. I was a very hyper, you know, ready for Fantastic Four. I've been excited for them to come into this for a long time too. But you talk about, I haven't been excited for a Jurassic Park movie. Maybe since Jurassic World, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe just honestly, you know what? I'm going to say something controversial. Since Jurassic Park 3, I don't think I've had the hype for Jurassic since Jurassic Park 3. This one I got my hopes a little up for. We'll get into it and stuff like that. I had a good time. You know what the good thing about that movie is that I got to watch it with my good friends Trey.
That's right. That's right. And we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it here in a minute and stuff. But I mean, honestly, it's been a pretty packed summer. It's been a packed July and stuff. And this summer for me,
baby.
Dude, this summer for me reignited. I haven't felt the reignition of the summer movie season is here. For a couple of years. There's been good movies throughout the year and stuff. There's good stuff I want to see in the summer, but like the summer movie season used to be like oh, we get this and this and this and this, you know, and I felt the hype this year more than I have in a couple
certainly.
Years. And that was awesome. That was awesome to feel.
So I got a list pulled up just so I can be in the same, we can all just kind of reflect on it. The summer really kicked off with Lilo and Stitch. Obviously I didn't go see it. But I know Jerry did. The other ones we got to mention is in late May. I couldn't get the date fast enough. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I didn't see that one either. But I did start watching that series, so I'm gonna have a chance to catch up. We also got Ballerina, which I loved. Ballerina was amazing. Sinners was also amazing. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version on June 13th. July 2nd was Jurassic World Rebirth. Then we had Superman on July 11th. Then last week we had Fantastic Four First Steps. And then another one coming in is The Naked Gun, which came out today. Let's kind of take a second and just talk about Sinners as a movie, because that was the one that I went into not with the lowest expectations, I guess with the expectations of I don't know what this is about. And obviously Ryan Coogler is an auteur with his craft, and honestly, I'm only familiar with a couple of his movies, including both Black Panthers and what's the other really big one?
Creed.
Yes, Creed. So obviously those series. So coming into this being like, and I don't know, is this based off anything or is this truly an original story?
Fully original.
That was it had a Jordan Peele level of unsettlingness to it that I loved. It tackled a lot of really awesome topics in terms of race and history. And honestly, my favorite highlight is that it really focused on like not that era of America and what I'm trying to say, but that era of music, the Delta blues, and how black music was slowly starting to permeate white culture with blues music and jazz. And that was something that was really special to me, because when I was growing up in middle school, I don't know why, I can speak to this honestly, and I can show you screenshots to prove it. But whenever I was in high school, early high school, I was playing guitar a lot more, and I would look to what inspired, bands like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and Chuck Berry even. And it was always people like Robert Johnson, always people like Blind Willie, I forget his last name, but there was a ton of these old black Delta blues musicians that I was seeking after because it was the roots of the music that I love. And that movie literally brought me back to being a high schooler, in the sense of like, oh man, this is how authentic they dressed, what they did. They would have barn parties, and there was always like there could have been a KKK raid event those lynchings did happen, back in the 1920s and 30s. So to see all that play out, the deal with the devil, and how that, actually manifest. And of course, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but the epilogue at the end of the movie is to me the greatest epilogue of all time. It is unmatched. I didn't think we'd have a 7-minute extra ending watching that movie.
Oh man.
And it was the person who was in it was a Louisiana native. It was like, I was like, I've seen him play at the Baton Rouge Blues Festival. Like, this is absolutely peak. So Sinners to me, as an original movie, is probably the best of 2025. Not a sequel, not a prequel, not based off a book. Truly original. It had Django Unchained level writing. It was truly phenomenal. I don't know if y'all want to speak on Sinners, but that was tremendous.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think off the top of my head, I think I've seen, outside of the Creed sequels, I think I've seen every Ryan Coogler movie. I've seen Fruitvale Station. Obviously, I've seen the two Black Panther films, and then the first Creed, but not the other two. Or no, only other one, because Michael B. Jordan directed 3, so it would just be Creed 2 that I'm missing. But no, this movie was absolutely incredible. I think Ryan Coogler is one of the best working right now, period, and is already making an amazing argument for himself as an all-timer.
Yes.
And obviously, this is not necessarily the best equipped panel to talk about this movie.
No, but we can acknowledge it's important.
Just in the name of acknowledging this panel, to do that before I start waxing poetic with my cracker ass. But I really, one of the themes I love the most in this, especially as somebody who loves, I love the themes of cycles a lot. I find fascinating studying radicalization in the real world. I love seeing it depicted in film in very subtle ways. And there's something very poignant about the kind of cyclical nature of the culture vulture, right? That when you take a villain like Remick, who is, who's a victim of the Irish kind of purging by England, He is a victim of the same kind of colonialism that instituted abominations like chattel slavery that the African people, transported and subjugated in the United States had to suffer under. Different flavors, but they're all kind of children of the same monster, right? And I think it's really compelling to take somebody like Remick, who, in a lot of the marketing, and I think I only saw 1 or 2 trailers, I think a lot of people got the vibe that he was a KKK vampire, that it would be, this vampire is a white supremacist, and going a much more subtle and complicated route to have him also be a victim of like settler colonialism, and also be the kind of victim who had his culture ripped away from him, who had his way of life ripped away from him, who so deeply wants to force a melting pot onto people, to kind of by brute force create a multiculture of other people who are part of like the diaspora of the colonially fucked with. That I think was just one of the most daring, incredible choices Coogler made in a movie full of amazing choices. And it really reinforces the theme that that how much culture and the arts get people through these like dark periods, that holding on to that culture is kind of like the life raft that preserves humanity in many ways. And I think it was incredible. It's just awe-inspiring, the juke joint scene with the flashes through time. Again,
that was it.
And these are one of those instances where, everybody knows I'm a big hip hop guy, and I've always subscribed to the opinion that like white hip hop fans, white hip hop artists, there has to be an understanding at the front door of like, you are not of this culture. You are being given the permission to tour it and experience it, but you are not of it, and act accordingly. And, these are one of those instances where it's like, this is a film that can only be made, that can only say what it has to say, being told with Black voices. And the way the media talked about this movie, I think, was incredibly reductive and frustrating. We don't have to get into that.
Of course.
Like, these are one of those moments where again, white guy, sorry, one needs to understand that like Black art defines the American pop culture, and not only is that sung throughout the film, and the blues, and how the blues is a progenitor to rock, to hip hop, that cultural lineage, but just the pop culture moment that happened because of Sinners, that has happened because of Black Panther, that has happened because of Ryan Coogler, just speaks so much to American culture is like 75% conservatively Black culture. And just, this is a perfect movie. I don't know if I said it coming out of the theater. I got to see this with Miss Taylor and Bill Sheehy when we had a little trip down to Kentucky while y'all were in Japan.
Yeah.
And I said coming out of it, I was like, I think this might be one of my favorite movies of all time, and I need to see it again to make sure I'm not just like on a high here. But I do think that this is going to be an all-timer for me, like easily.
Yeah, I can't wait to
do that to ourselves too, though. We like it. We doubt ourselves.
Yes,
when we walk out of stuff,
Yes,
sorry, that's a deeper thing. But, like I
no.
I do that too.
I want to hear you speak to it, Jerry, because I know you and I obviously were raised in similar areas, and we
right.
we may have been raised under how do you say this without sounding like a terrible person? But like
no. We were raised Southern white people, and again, well-meaning as most of the time they try to be. There is inherent racism just in that culture because of where it is. It's not like, I maintain my parents in Arkansas most loving people of all time would give you anyone the shirt off their damn backs. You know, have never taught me to hate any single person and stuff. But yet there was still things that I came up with that were relics of the past in the best way of speaking to it. You know, that's the way I would put it. There are relics of the past that are just like the wreckage that you're raised in sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you have to acknowledge it. I think you have to, like Jared's saying, you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge that and move past it. And growing up in the South, again, you and I, the thing I will say about this, it felt like a summer in Arkansas watching this thing. It felt like I'm sure it's the same to you. It felt like a Louisiana summer. That's what really what I was going to really speak to again, because
it was filmed real quick. It was filmed in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, which is about 15 minutes away from where I work. So the big town
awesome.
scenes were filmed in downtown Donaldsonville. So they filmed it there, you know?
Right. Well, and it was Sinners was, I think, the most beautiful movie I've seen all year. The cinematography in this film was absolutely breathtaking. Like every sunset scene was like there was like the scene that happens at sunset whenever what's the villain's name again?
Remick.
Okay. When he's like, you first see him and he is like being chased, right, by the Native Americans, correct?
Yep.
That scene, fucking beautiful. Like you go in that dark ass house because like hardly anybody had electricity out in the country back then, you know. Just I don't know, man. Every choice visually blew me away. Like I was sitting there stunned throughout the whole thing. And I mean, you add on to, of course, Jared's already talked very eloquently about all this stuff. And so I won't wax poetic too much about it. But I mean, like that scene where they're like, you're traveling through time during the music
I cried.
was absolutely beautiful. But just like, man, I'm telling you, the night scenes, like the days, every time every single frame of this film is like, could be just hung up in a gallery.
I agree.
It's absolutely incredibly beautiful.
I one thing too to mention, like I love that they even tackled some of the more difficult subjects of like, you know, Haley Steinfeld is a Creole girl, you know what I mean? She is half African American and half white. You know, like I love that they even went into that route of like, you know, she is a part of the family because of her blood, but also because of who she is and who she aligns herself with and who she respects and who she disrespects. Like it's great. And like, there's also this really idea of like power. It was really weird idea of like, these people came from Chicago. They were successful in the Chicago area. They came and brought their wealth down to, I guess it was Mississippi technically. I just looked it up. All of it was from Louisiana. Did not know that. The whole movie, all of it was filmed. So I want to go actually find like the sets now because they are actually not hard to find. But that being said, like you tackle all these difficult subjects through like the lenses of vampires too, which is also crazy. Didn't expect it. They did the vampire tropes the entire time. For those that don't see it, they did the welcome me in trope. They did the whole I'm already in the house trope.
Can I say, and again, I know Jared's a horror girly too. Okay. I know. We both love horror a lot, right? I mean, we're both on that pulse, right? Jared's more of a slasher guy than me and stuff. But the vampires in this, the way they did it was, this is the way I fucking love my vampires. You know, and I'm not gonna like be like Twilight bullshit. I don't give a fuck. It's fine. I think it's fine to take flourishes with your vampires, but man, the red eyes, like the eye shine in the night was fucking incredible.
It's such an incredible touch. They truly feel like apex predators. Like, not to cut you off of what you're saying, Jerry, but like, I'm so glad you brought that up because like a lot of vampire fiction, like they feel like, because they are like supernatural monsters, right? Like it is very like thing that goes bump in the night, but like here there is something that's so visceral that like, I hesitate to use the word animalistic because I don't think that's what Coogler's going for necessarily. No. But like it is like, but there is something that is so natural in their presentation.
Oh, yeah.
And that like it isn't until mild spoiler the end, because they were trying to avoid direct plot beats, but like it isn't towards the end where like we get like a quote unquote true form for Remick, where like he goes from, you know, kind of like because you know you have that spread of everything kind of like, you know, like your Twilighty vampires with like, not to get into like the sparkling skin or anything, but just like that's a normal person who, when their mouth opens up a little bit more, you can see really pointy teeth, and they drink blood and they have like supernatural abilities, right? And then you get to like the Buffy verse, and you know the vampire has their normal face, and then they change and they get like the scrunched up brow, you know, and that shit. And then you have shit like earlier this year, Nosferatu, where it's like this is just a fucked up looking guy by default. Here,
he's a corpse.
He's a corpse. With the vampires here, it's that glinting eye and the fact that it's like we don't see talons jut out from the hands.
Yeah.
It's just there, and there's something terrifying about that as well. But they truly feel like apex predators.
This is the best film I've seen to use it is actual like folklore.
Yeah,
that they have to be invited in.
That is original. That is original, which is that's an important part. It's not like it's a rip on, you know, it's not Nosferatu, which is a rip off Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, like it's not.
Right.
This is
no,
original.
But I mean, it's actual folklore too.
Yes, of course.
Right. Oh no, sorry. I said
you know what I mean. They play with it.
I thought you were saying he made it up. I was like, no, man.
No. I'm saying he played.
That was the Germans or whoever came up with vampires.
Transylvanians. No, he played it with a way that was very original and very Southern. Yeah. Like you gotta, well, come on, let me in.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, it was so Southern. It was so like Southern charm. Well, that's what I loved about it though, is this is the best that I've seen that utilized in a vampire film, because like it's so sadistic. Yeah, so like it like playing on those emotions and stuff like that. The way like especially like whenever God damn, I thought we were doing like it's been a few months, but I guess I'll stay away from spoilers. But whenever one of the big characters becomes a vampire and they're waiting on the other side of the door, I mean, you see this in the trailer, like the way they're talking, man, is just like.
I think you're I think you're safe to say that one of the Michael B. Jordan's turns, because it's in the
one
trailer.
Michael B. Jordan becomes a vampire. Yeah, he bangs
Right.
his head against the door. He's a vampire. But like just like I mean, just the way that these people talk after they've been turned and everything to try to get them out and everything and stuff. I don't know. It was a really cool device. It was the tension was crazy.
Yeah,
like every time somebody got close to a door was fucking insane.
But what you were saying, Jerry, about like it leaning into the folkloric elements, you know, like really hard, like especially the whole concept of like the crossing of the threshold, right? Is that like,
yes,
again, it goes so it going that direction pairs so beautifully with how much culture as a concept is the core theme of the film, right? And how like again it is the you know, by the time Remick has, you know, invaded the juke joint and has started wreaking havoc and is starting to like build a collective here, that like the where he becomes this really interesting flashpoint in this kind of hinge of the story, where it is the concept of let's reforge culture and how multiculturalism, having a melting pot, I do think is a net positive, but you also have that the other edge of the sword, right? Which is cultures that are forcibly kind of stripped for parts. It's not like it's not like the European migrations to the States or anywhere else in the world, but just like that was also going on at the time in the film, that you have like, you know, the Italians and the Irish, you know, all kind of coming around these, you know, kind of in quick succession of each other. That like, okay, so Italian culture starting to meld in, and the Irish and the this and the that and the Polish, all of that's happening naturally. And then we have, again, this group of people who were forced to come here. And it's this interesting thing of like, well, do we want a melting pot, or are we going to hold on to the last thing we have left, which is our culture that we forged in blood here? And, you know, that again, that culture vulture element is it's do we maintain our individuality, or are we, you know, homogenized by force? And I think that introducing like again, like you were saying, that folkloric element is so important because like even that is now a shared culture among the vampires.
So
we have to live with these limitations.
We gotta wrap just this part of the story up in a second, but I want to say this because it's important. When I saw Nosferatu, because I saw it 3 times in the theaters, it's weirdly enough a comfort movie for me. I grew up watching the original back in the day. I love Nosferatu, but the reason
you
I'm
like
saying
to
all
rest well,
yes,
right?
well. Oh wait, is he still? Hold on.
Hey,
Bombad. Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm not the resident Nosferatu voice here.
Hold on, I gotta take you off the screen, Jared, just because
respect our house.
Because I have to. Okay, here we go. Nosferatu, how have you been? Hold on.
Oh shit. Hold on. Oh God, that's embarrassing. Oh, you must excuse me. I was wearing my COVID-19 mask that just covers my lips. I've been doing well.
Glad to see you, Nosferatu.
What are we talking about?
Movies from the year 2025, not 1925, 2025.
Oh, yeah, not my. I've got a few holes in my game for that year.
Uncle Nazi.
Did you see the Smurfs?
Uncle Nazi, there he is.
It has Rihanna. And no music from Rihanna.
Thank you, Nosferatu. We're gonna bring you back later at some point. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let's bring Jared back in the fold. Yeah, no, that was good. We'll have to learn how to adjust these graphics.
We're gonna have to learn to like when he disappears, right?
Yes, yes.
That was some crazy camera angles on Nosferatu there. I don't know what was going on. Anyway,
no,
I mean I'm not Nosferatu. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to speak to just before we wrap this whole discussion on Sinners up is the idea that like I watched Nosferatu back in December, and all I kept thinking was, obviously mythology is bred through the environment that you're in, and it would make sense like during the bubonic plague and during other plagues that went through in the 18 and 1900s or 1700s that vampirism would become a folkloric concept of like it's something that's killing these people and blah, blah, like it makes sense. And I guess you can say like way Eastern European cultures, like where this would become a thing, but to see it through the lens of Southern culture was something that I've kept thinking about the entire time watching Nosferatu. Like, how could you theoretically tie this all together in terms of like what would Southern culture permeate as a cryptid or as a folkloric demonic spirit, and we've got the Rougarou in Louisiana. That's a popular one, though it's kind of just based on some werewolf, very basic cryptid information. I'm sure it's deeper if I look closer at it, but in terms of like how can we recontextualize such a folkloric element into mythology from other places in the South in the early 1900s was phenomenal. But I want to move on because we got to cover 3 more movies and maybe even a couple ones later. But I got to shout out to Brennan. Thank you so much, Brennan, for joining us as a member. So far, we have Brennan as a member, and we also have Buck as a member. So we've got 2 members here, and I don't know which one the green membership is. I forgot which color that is. But obviously, if you want to become a member, y'all, it's really, really affordable. $1 per month. $1 per month. You can get access to individual and exclusive members only live streams, as well as other things. I believe I have to read the full list again, but you can become a member and you can support us that way. You can always join our Patreon as well. We'll be relaunching all of this, and we'll be launching shorts as well. So they've got Bombad General, Bombad Gungan, and Bombad Jedi. So green, I think, is Bombad Jedi. Thank you, Eli. So if you want to join, it's only so much a month, and it gets you all kinds of exclusives, which will be launching in the near future as this
exclusive
progresses.
emojis as well.
Yes, that's true.
Chat.
If anyone, Brennan, maybe throw in one of the exclusive emojis. I think they should still work if you're typing on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm not really well versed in this. It's our first stream doing this, but yeah,
we're new. We're new.
We're new.
But
We're new.
We'll get it.
We're no kidnap sock. But let's move on to my most hype movie.
Not at all.
My most hype movie was Jurassic World Rebirth. And look, here we go. So look, I think they worked, y'all. If you're looking at YouTube, and I've got the YouTube pulled up,
I've got them right here.
See, yes.
Hold on. Let me see. Here we go. There we go. They're right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in on Jerry's
Ed
screen.
McMahon and stuff. Hold on.
There's
oh
Ed,
my
there's
God.
Paul, there's Rick and Joe Organa, all icons of the Bombad cast.
Oh,
That's
this is fantastic. Look at this.
Yep. How exciting.
Yeah.
That being said, we're gonna do a quick pivot. If you haven't seen Jurassic World Rebirth, I'm not saying I'm not saying you missed out.
Listen, I think we can spoil this one, frankly. I think this is fine.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. Let's pull up the graphic again. Let's see that. Listen, we were coming up with names for the dumb dinosaur.
We cannot save those on there.
Can't say the ones we're gonna say. I was gonna say he looks like every guy in a MAGA on the street interview ever put together. He's like the Magadon or something.
To me, it's like, I love the look of the face. Honestly, it's kind of got a cool look. I like the weird Rancor kind of face. Well,
you've seen it before.
The tiny arms on the chest are just abhorrent.
It's like, what are we doing?
Overkill.
It looks like something that's begging to be killed.
Yeah, literally.
Here's my thing. We've done the mutant dinos for the last 4 movies and stuff like that. I've had enough. This is like the piece de resistance of that. Dinosaurs are cool enough, man. Just give me a fucking dinosaur. It's great, And what did me and Scotty have stupid fun in this movie? Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Here's what I will say, Scotty. I don't know if you can find this. I think I told you about how there was someone posted how the size of what they call the D-Rex. Which sounds like a goddamn energy drink put out by Mr. Beast. But
that will induce heart failure in a 16-year-old.
Absolutely. No, it's being drank by 9-year-olds while they play with their Mr. Beast action figures. But you've got the D-Rex has size issues. That sounds like he's got erectile dysfunction. But what I'm trying to say is he changes size.
Yeah. There's a really big one. I forgot about this one. I'm not gonna post on the screen because we want to try to use this for later stuff. But there's one shot where the D-Rex eats a helicopter.
That's my favorite shot in the whole movie.
He grabs a helicopter he palms it with his hand, and then with the same hand, he's just holding the guy later, and he's just like this. It's just like, how big is this guy?
We're not, for those that don't know and they're uninformed, and this may be your first Bombad cast, which I'm bless you for it. Oh, 8984M. Yes, thank you for becoming a member.
Oh, look, we also got
Elder Plug, my cousin Troy. Yes, thank y'all so much.
Troy boy. What's up, gang?
Makes me happy. But we're never one to pick apart. We love the silliest Star Wars movies, and the things that people that are not Andor. Oh God forbid you like Star Wars, it's not Andor. But can't
have any aliens. You want that Emmy?
Yes, we need the Emmy chat. But that being said, you watched Jurassic World Rebirth, and I was going in with the expectations of being like, oh, this is gonna be like a dark, creepy twist on it. I like the clone dinosaur. I like I like that the whole thing's a bunch of strand cast. I really like that idea. And my dad and I,
it's a strand cast. Yeah.
My dad and I, obviously, we love seeing movies together. And that was the one he was super excited about, was oh my God, Jurassic World. And then I saw it with Jerry, of course. Me, Jerry, and Trace saw it in Holland, Michigan, which was amazing to be able to experience that with him. There was some things that really worked, but I remember telling my dad after, I'm like, it's not something I want you to go and spend, because he buys my tickets and we go, he buys me my own popcorn, like that becomes like a $70 night. You know what I mean? And like we don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's not one of those ones like it ain't worth that, you know? And it was fun seeing it with my friends, obviously, and that was wonderful. And there was a bond there. And there was a couple of scenes that like were pretty peak Jurassic World. And I can say there was a couple parts that I'm like, damn, this is really brilliant and really cool.
Well, can I guess one of your scenes? One of them for me that I really, and there was a lot of like, so there was two stories happening side by side.
Yes.
You essentially had this family that was shipwrecked, and then you had the main characters that you have seen in the trailers,
the researchers,
Scarjo, who were like after the research stuff. I was more invested in the family that was like,
me too,
like shipwrecked. I would have stayed with them the whole time. The T-Rex raft sequence is top tier.
It was awesome.
It is top shelf.
That was remarkable. That was so good.
Yeah,
and from the original book, if I remember correctly, that was a big deal.
I didn't know that.
There was a couple of scenes
going to be in the movie
from the original book.
I think it was going to be. Didn't they film for the original movie, but they had to cut it or something, or at least they wanted to put it in, but they just couldn't.
I liked this movie. I wanted to partake in the Super Jurassic-tastic, hat trick. So Taylor and I got caught up on all of the Jurassic movies. We maintain that one of the funniest moments in film history may be Alan Taylor's yelling it from the living room. Is the Alan Grant having a nightmare on the plane and waking up to a rat that's going, Alan, Adam, Alan. There it is. No, I will say, in this movie's defense, before I start having opinions that I promise I like this movie, I was distracted. I was distracted when I went to see this movie. I forgot to mention this on TNAP. I said it in my Letterboxd review, however. AMC introduced a new snack to coincide with Jurassic World Rebirth.
I didn't see this review. What the hell?
And it was they're like gigantic Bavarian pretzel, which I've never had before. I didn't realize how big the fucking pretzel was.
Was it the D-Rex pretzel or something?
It was like a Jurassic bite. It had sriracha seasoning on it. And I like spicy food, and my palate, William Hardy, palate goes back and forth between being capable of handling sriracha or not.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
There are months where I will put sriracha sauce on everything, and then the next day I will eat it and I will almost throw up because it's too hot for me for some reason. I drank my drink and Taylor's drink inside of 5 minutes because this thing was so motherfucking hot. But Mama didn't raise no bitch. Over the course of a week, I ate it all at home.
Yes.
So that said, I may have been a little distracted by the fact that my mouth was on fucking fire for most of the movie, and I was in legitimate pain.
Yeah. But you also watched all of them leading up to this, which was kind of an interesting way. 7 movies. Oh no.
Yeah, because I had only seen Park and World, and none of the follow-ups between them. So by the time I get to Jurassic World Rebirth, I didn't dislike this movie. I felt it was aggressively safe, and it kind of let me down a little bit because.
Well, that's fair. That's really fair.
Because again, what I say what you will about the Jurassic World movies and the mutants and whatever, I like that they went batshit. I really like. I understand when people don't love the cloning stuff, but I really like that swing of, we're just making these genetic abominations, and we are leaning into the, corporatization of playing God, like all of those themes kind of swirling around each other, and sometimes those themes don't work because they end up taking a backseat to dinosaur on dinosaur violence, and it's fun. And sometimes there will be a movie like Jurassic World Dominion where they bring the movie to a screeching halt so that they can recreate the logo, which made me almost throw the remote at the TV. but Star Wars is overindulgent.
It was a cool shot, though. That was a cool shot.
Sure it was.
Great on a t-shirt.
But yeah, but no, I did like this movie. I like the characterization a lot. I was surprised. This sounds like such an infantile fucking take. This is very, Darth Vader is blue because Obi-Wan's talking to him, and then he turns red when he says mean things. What I'm about to say, but it's not the type of territory that the Jurassic franchise treads with this interpersonal kind of theming. I love that the rebirth applied so much to the characters. That if the credo of the Jurassic franchise is life finds a way, we're watching these people on an interpersonal level find a way. That, like, Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali in particular, they're defined by tragic loss. And that they've kind of approached life with this devil may care, what happens, anything for the bag. Jerry, you'll appreciate this. I saw a little bit of Spike Spiegel in there.
Ooh, very Spike Spiegel. Yes.
And I appreciate
You're right. That. Damn it.
And I really liked, shouts out Pro and Noob on the Mitch 692 channel. What I really appreciated was the way that by the end of the movie, that there is this very silent moment of them going, oh, I should keep going because there's more to life than just, living it, and it's that, you're forced to survive, and that's how you know how to live after that. So, like, all of these people were quite literally reborn by the end of their journey. The family dynamic is reborn with the family that gets shipwrecked. Scarlett Johansson is reborn. I was so happy that Mahershala Ali's character survived, because it felt like this noble sacrifice. And I very badly didn't want to just see him give his life to save a child after losing a child. He emerges ready to live life again. And thematically, I love that. I love those character beats so much. But it felt, in terms of a continuation of the Jurassic narrative, it felt kind of aggressively safe. That it was like, okay, we're just going to hand wave away dinosaurs living among us. We're just going to off screen write our way out of this being a thing. And that felt, admittedly, a little cowardly to me. It felt a little, people didn't like those old movies. Let's reset. Let's go back to the original premise for Jurassic sequels, which is we got to go back to the one island in the world where some dinosaurs are.
Yeah.
And that frustrated me a little bit because I was like, yeah, no, stand on that crazy swing you took. Stand on that crazy swing you took with these last two movies. And that it felt a little cowardly. It felt like they flinched and whatever. It felt like they were like, well, we need to make sure people still remember those movies so there will be a mutant. And and we'll make it extra fucked up, and we'll make it extra scary,
extra mutanty.
Yeah, and we'll give it the extra set of arms that's like attached to its chest, and I appreciate
it. Looked like the Toxic Avenger. Mutants. I mean, come on.
Sure,
anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, continue. Yeah,
the Toxic Rancor Avenger.
Yeah,
but I appreciated its being there, and some of my favorite shots came from it. I thought that was a great beat, like we were talking about earlier with the helicopter. Oh, they're coming to save us. Oh, holy shit, this thing. I really love that moment. And I like a lot of the themes. I just felt that, like, as a continuation of the story, it felt like it made a lot of aggressively safe decisions, and that disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah. Especially
in the Super Jurassic triple feature, right? Where like I said earlier, Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps unapologetically lean into, like the things that a few years ago may have been written off as too silly, too goofy, too campy, too hokey, where this movie goes, okay, look at all the crazy shit our predecessors did. We need to dial it the fuck back. And I didn't love that. And that's my main gripe.
So in terms of gripes and in terms of me being let down, and I can agree with everything you said too, because
I'm going to interrupt you, Scotty. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
That's fine.
Listening. I'm going to be.
That's fine. There were some parts that really worked. I'll just leave you up on screen. You can just walk away.
Okay.
Unless you got no pants on. Let's see if he's got pants on, chat.
Yeah.
Come on. No pants. Oh, he's got pants. Damn it.
I think
Okay.
there were pants. Yeah, damn it.
For me personally, I watched this with very high, but not like, oh, they better do this. Not those kind of expectations. I watched it for the sake of like, this is going to be something different. You don't have to adhere to what really came before, but I like the acknowledgement of what came before, especially like the Bronchiosaurus, like dying in New York. Like that actually kind of got to me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like they become so desensitized to these miracles that like, that it literally can just wander, and it's a burden. It's a pain in the ass that it wandered from its
making
facility
you late
and
for work.
died. Yes,
Yeah.
like that aspect was really cool. Other parts like the big chase in the water part, really good. It felt like they watched
Very
Godzilla
good.
-1 and they were like, let's do this, you know. But
Yeah.
like it's impossible to top that movie. Damn near the best movie of all time. But the parts that I did like were the Spielberg like horror aspects that Spielberg does the best, obviously.
Yes.
That Gareth Eric's
Yeah.
pulled up. And Jerry and I talked about this, and there wasn't that many velociraptors in this movie, but the scene where
None, I don't think, yeah.
that I think it was this one scene. The boy was peeing and he was in the forest.
And
like
right.
it was slowly starting to creep up, and like you see the velociraptors doing their whole little song and dance in the background looking, and they're doing the toe tap part. I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna yes. I was thinking they're going to kill this guy taking a pee.
We all thought this kid was
We were
going
like-
to die at the beginning. Like
Yes,
we
the
thought
asshole kid.
done.
Sorry.
No, it was the toe tapping, looking around, and then the flying. I forget which one it was. Maybe a pterodactyl, whatever it was.
It was that winged other I think that's another like hybrid.
It was huge
at the end, like the
It was
weird
like 60-foot
raptor bird
wingspan
thing.
or whatever. But like when it came in while he was peeing, and like the fact that they kept the stream and everything going the whole time, and like
that's
he
such a
could
funny beat.
that to me was
That was
classic Spielberg.
legitimately
If I feel like George Lucas, you know, if he somehow watched this movie, you know, because Frank Marshall made him sit down and watch it, I feel like that would be the one part that I think that George would be like, well, it's just he was like, well, that's pretty funny. I like that. You know, like there was
That's
some
a good
parts
beat.
that
I liked it
that-
when he paid.
Yeah, like that.
I like
That
the
was
pee bit.
classic Spielberg. Like everyone's got to go pee. You know, it's not a sacred experience. You know, like not all movies.
And
have to be
everyone's
sacred.
like had to try to like if you like well most
Yes.
of us have tried to stop. When
Yes.
it's like for
Uh-huh.
a second.
My favorite is whenever he does stop and then he starts back up. And I'm like, you know, that beat alone, like
It's
you
the
can- if you-
immediate and the loudness of
Yes,
the coming
yes.
back and stuff like that.
it was
Yeah.
to me though, it was like you know, you can rank movies all you want, and there's an art to doing that. But like if there's moments that speak to you, that was a good moment. The moment with the two other mutant dinosaurs that should not exist with the flares in their back, you know, like they're pretty much bronchiosaurus, but they're like 15 times bigger, and they do the whole parallel to the scene.
It's
of them looking up.
Gigantosaurus, I think,
Yeah.
or something.
They-
I'm not joking. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think it might
It
be,
is, you're
but
right.
like, but that scene was kind of
Used to be
beautiful and
Dinosaur Guy.
cool. I like that, and I like any movie that is a goal. To me personally, I like a movie that's like a very visual and narratively driven goal of like number 1, number 2, number 3, and they were all these mutant dinosaurs they get this shit from, and then the fourth one comes in and wrecks shit. There was some good horror aspects. The part that I wanted to highlight in terms of just being, you know, who is this made for kind of movie, you know, people tend to forget that these movies, while they do good, you know, they do well in the States, they fucking kill it in international you know, areas. Like the Jurassic World movies are like, I mean, that is it's a kaiju, right? And it's part of, you know, Japanese, Chinese, and you know, it's a part of that culture, and it does really well in those regions of the world, in the Asia I guess landscape of the world. This because it's all about, you know,
You want to see some
monsters.
buck wild box office numbers? Look at how much of the first Venom made in China.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. How much did the first Venom make in China?
Venom. No, not that one though. Not that one though.
No, that
Right?
one.
Okay. Well, no, but that was from the third movie, wasn't it? That song.
First movie.
Oh
Was it really?
my god!
Yeah.
That's a real number.
Was it? Yeah, here we go. Let's get it out here.
That's why we got 3 of them bitches.
$269,196,633 in China alone.
That's impressive.
Domestically, it made 213 million. Oh my god! Technically, internationally, oh no, I'm wrong. Domestically, it made 80 million, but internationally, worldwide, well, internationally, 75% of the money came from international releases, which were most successful in China. The total was 642 million. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, there's a fun little bit of box office trivia for you. That's how we got 3 of those goddamn movies.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Well,
okay, let's see what
listen,
Rebirth
just
did.
put Venom versus D-Rex like in a film, and just like, I mean, that's one way to pay off your student loans. You know, I mean, come on.
Sure. Well, Scotty pulls that up on the topic of the Spielbergian vibe. The raft T-Rex scene. I looked at Taylor during the movie while I was drooling from how hot the goddamn pretzel was, and looked at her. I was like, "This feels like Spielberg. This feels so much like Spielberg." Like again, because again, it has pinches of Jaws in it with the whole you can't see it. The terror is not seeing the thing. It's the ticking time bomb of it all. You know, and it hits another, like it went through like all the beats of what Spielberg does, right? You have the high adventure of being like on the raft going down the, you know, you have the terror of how the dinosaur is moving, and then you have the suspense of how the dinosaur is moving. You have the abject horror fear of trying to escape this escape this goddamn thing. Like it was all of its like beautiful, just smoothie, like cocktail of all of the Spielbergian kind of filmmaking instincts in that scene that I really, really loved.
I agree. And one thing I will say just about the release, which is this is a very successful movie. I didn't realize how successful it was. According to Box Office Mojo, internationally it made $420 million, and domestically, this is shocking. Domestically, it made $307 million. So
it was the 4th of July weekend movie.
That's what it was.
It got those holiday numbers and stuff, which, I mean, again, these movies are going to make a little bit of that money and stuff. And I sounded like I fucking hated this piece of shit. And me and Scotty came out of the movie very positive. We came out of the movie very positive. And in fact, we made Portray feel bad that he didn't like it, and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, I liked this more than most of the Jurassic World films.
Oh no, this was, to me, out of all of them, this is the best Jurassic World movie, if you're going to categorize it.
Yeah, this is the best Jurassic World film. But I just don't. Riddle me this. I also, Jared, I loved everything you waxed poetic about. I loved every bit of that as well. Here's my thing. How the hell did Mahershala Ali survive at the end? Tell me how the power of what? Did he blow the dinosaur and then like escaped while it was in the throes of pleasure?
He probably threw a fucking flare and went, "Okay, go catch it. Now I'm gonna swim like a motherfucker and get back over here." You know?
I'm just saying, like that was the one time I was like, okay.
No, he couldn't throw the flare because he used the flare for them to find him. Hold on. Shit. Hold on.
See what I'm saying? How the fuck?
I don't know. It got stuck on a tree. It got stuck in a tree.
So
it changed. It accidentally changed size when it was chasing him.
Yes.
And It clipped into another scene. Okay.
Before we change subjects and move on to Superman, which is bitter. No, you're fair. It's fair to be bitter because this is my most hyped movie. And Trey was like, I don't know, we should go see 28 Years Later. And I'm like, no, we're seeing this shit. He was
No,
like, "God, I
me
think
and you
we're really
both
gonna
were like, nah, bro, let's go.
No,
We're gonna go see the
Jurassic,
fucking
baby."
dinosaurs.
But it's so inherently Bombad, if I'm going to be honest with you. Jerry and I have
Yeah.
always
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about Jurassic Park movies and, you know, our love of 90s stuff. And this was kind of a return to form in its own way. But I closed the poll. The poll has officially been closed. So far, the data, well, I guess the data is final. Your favorite movie, according to the Bombad cast, 25 votes. Coming in at 7% was Sinners. Technically, it wasn't Summer, but I wanted to put it in here.
Ooh.
Coming in at 17%, 11% was Jurassic World Rebirth. Coming in
Okay.
at second was Fantastic Four First Steps with 23%. And coming in at the whopping 56% was Superman. So let's get right into it. Now, I want to start off this conversation because I have the least attachment to this character, whereas I know Jerry has a pretty good attachment to it, and Jared has a significant attachment. Oh, he changed
Oh,
shirts.
my
What a
lord.
king.
The first one had
Oh, how the
dinosaurs playing
tables have
basketball
turned.
on it. I
love
didn't
that.
call attention to the first one had dinosaurs playing basketball on it.
Okay, well, let your boy talk for just 1 second about this
Okay,
movie.
okay.
I went into this with very little expectations aside from how good the trailer was, and of course how impactful I knew it would be because it was a James Gunn project who's so good at, you know, quantifying and like coming up with a certain energy that needs to be fresh and different and new to make things grow beyond what they are, you know, known as. When I came into this movie, I did not expect to cry near as much as I did. Again, crypto worked a lot for me. I thought about Obi, you know, a lot watching that movie. I got really emotional looking at the dog's face and interactions and responses. That got to me. Superman being so vulnerable and real got a lot to me. But most importantly, it was a really good way. And Jared talked about this in his TNAP review. I would highly suggest going and listening to that Nerd Academy podcast review, only because it taught me more about the lore of Superman through what he said, through what Alden said, and through what the whole panel said on that stream. I will say, watching this really got me excited for the rest of the DCU. A great kicking off point. It is like, yeah, it is off and running. And I will be real with you. I have never seen a Superman movie in theaters. I saw, you know, Batman was amazing 3 years ago. But I saw Suicide Squad. I saw so many of these, you know, DC movies in theaters, Wonder Woman, all of them. And I was just, it never did anything for me. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Never got me excited. Besides James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which was great, but like it didn't get me excited to watch anything else. This, however, completely changed my tune. I wanna continue to watch what this story does. And I love how you can tell a story now, much like Fantastic Four, and not have to rely on giving it a ton of backstory. I talked about my mom with this last night. I'm like, it's so cool that, speaking of folklore, how folkloric all of this stuff and how much of the pop
Modern
culture
mythology.
it's become. Yes,
Modern
like
mythology.
you don't have to explain that he was a baby from a planet. Like if you can now deliver these lines effortlessly. And if you know just the basis of an idea about this character, you know he's allergic to kryptonite. You know, I mean, like Lois Lane. Like you don't have to worry
a little
about
more
all
than
the.
allergic, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I mean, allergic. But like,
No,
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
in the sense of, I went in.
Can you imagine if he
having
had like an
seen-
inhaler he could pull out though, like for like
It
that or
heals
something, like
him.
an EpiPen?
Kryptonian
Inhaler of
EpiPen,
sunlight.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like full of like yellow sun or something. Like,
So to me, like you go into a movie with, you know, expectations that are obviously going to be pretty high. There's a character you don't want to mess up, but like I was even watching David Cornsweet interviews leading up to this, and like I could kind of give a bigger shit. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to be hyped for this movie because it was as the Bombad cast, you know, fan voted, and I think most people that go and see it will say this is the movie of the summer. This is number one.
Mm-hmm.
This movie will continue to play until September. Like it's that good. You know, they still got a ton of screenings, even though it's been damn near a month now since it came out. You know, I just want to say that off top because I absolutely loved this movie. I have, again, haven't cried harder since Guardians 3 when that came out 2 years ago. So
James
that's
Gunn
where I'll
likes
sit with it.
to he likes to really
Kills
like
it.
turn the waterworks, man. He
I
likes
think
to
it
turn on
speaks
the
to our
water-
generation, but I also think it speaks to, you know, the human experience. I'm going to let Jerry go next, only because Jared's going to talk for about 16 minutes straight.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
I was
fair.
going to say Jerry should speak before me because I will not shut the fuck up for a minute. So,
Well, let me just start by saying that I will also take probably about 18 minutes to finish what I need to say. So, no, I'm joking. Okay, no, we're good. I've already said how this was maybe the most anticipated film for me. Like, I had the most hype for this than I've had for anything in a while. Like, this is like, I don't remember getting this hyped except for like the last time was The Rise of Skywalker, right? Like the
Probably
last time was the
Ghostbusters
last Star
Frozen
Wars film that was
Empire.
made.
Probably
Well, that's true.
Yeah, probably
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Yeah, that's fair. You got me.
That was probably
I don't know. I think it was like slightly more for Afterlife. We'll say that. Ghostbusters Afterlife I had a little more. But
yeah.
All that to say, I was really hyped for this. All the trailers were just like absolutely punching me in the feels. And I remember watching this. Again, like, you know, we had those special times with mom and dad, you know, watching all this stuff. I know that my mom specifically really likes this character. Just from TV shows. My mother does not read comics or anything like that. It'd be really funny if she did behind my back and I just didn't know. Just like Scotty's met them. Yeah, I was gonna say
this whole time.
It would be really
I
funny
really
if
think you should read All Star Superman.
Is my mom Granny Goodness? What the fuck, man? Okay. No, you're good. You're good. No, what was really getting me with this was that they put a lot of shots of Superman saving people, but mostly, and again, I don't know if we still have the predictable parental feelings, like Stinger or whatever. But he's saving kids in most of the trailers too. I'll tell you the first trailer, what got me really strongly, I think got a lot of people, is the little boy in what is a war-torn country who, let's be honest, it just looks like it is a child from Gaza or something. It's like a shot from like the news, but this kid is pulling up this flag and just whispering with tears in his eyes, Superman. Just hoping that I'm going to start crying right now, that he will come and save him. You know, that he'll save these people and stuff like that. And just, you know, just that level of just the hope that we have for the world, the real world around us, right? That we want to see. That was incredibly strong for me in those trailers, and it was incredibly strong in the film. I will say, at the very beginning, I was ready to see Superman stop the goddamn war, because I want Superman to come and stop the goddamn fucking shit that's going on. And that, you know, I didn't get that, and so I was a little like bummed at first. But this movie has become just such a treatise on kindness, on you know, again, hoping, like the conceit that there is a person, a character who can stop wars, that can do things like that. It's almost religious in a way, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's that same kind of like conceit of, wouldn't it be great if there was someone who could just walk up and actually back up their, you know, everything, like was a genuine good person. It was just like, no, we're not gonna be doing this today, you know. I don't, it was maybe the most hopeful thing I've seen in a long time, and I really needed it. And I will say, my parents, who never talk about anything. Again, my mom, the secret comic reader.
Kingdom Come is one of the greatest comics ever written.
I love Jared's interpretation of my mom.
If I ham up the old
you
voice,
make her you make her sound like she's the grandma who owns Tweety Bird. It's honestly spot on.
I am now
I see her more as like the mom.
Cat is a Snyder bro.
My mom talks more like the mom from me and Alden's favorite Christmas movie, Just Friends. She talks like that, like Joyce. So but anyway, what happened? What hand did you slap? Not the one for dinner. Okay. I don't know what I was gonna say. My parents, they don't. I will try to talk to them about movies. They'll talk with me just to humor me for a little bit.
Sure.
They would not shut up when we got home about this movie.
That's awesome.
Like we talked for an hour after the movie about
that is special.
Superman. And that is the power. And again, he's and I'm going to let Jared get his spiel in because like it's just, I don't know what else to put out there aside from to actually see like when one shot early on in the film that really like was special to me was when the kaiju is like falling back towards the building and he actually stops it before it even like his back cracks the window, but that's it. And he pushes it. Just the fact that I don't think there were any casualties aside from one in Metropolis. You know what I mean? Through that entire movie. How special was it to have like something like that when we have like, again, and I think it has its place. The MCU has like a lot of like, the stories like Civil War, which is great about, the collateral damage and stuff like that. I think it has its place in these stories, but with a story the story of Superman and just him, I don't know, man, just saving people. That was something special. It's something new. It was something refreshing and I needed it. So.
No, that's beautifully said. You only spoke for 8 minutes.
So you were like, I was gonna say, were you tagging me? Okay,
that was good. No, I was looking at the countdown. Now, I will say to that as well, the idea that people were mad about the scroll, I thought was very silly. But I love the fact that
joyless people, man.
Every life was valued. That is that to me was like peak. Look at Bloom. Bloom's in the chat. Yes.
What's up, Bloom?
Bloom, I like the new picture, by the way. It's very cool. But I love this movie. And now the person that helped me fall in love deeper with this movie, person right below me right here.
Yes.
Just
knows so much more than both of us.
I know this for you was special, but for me it was obviously emotional. For Jerry, it was emotional. I couldn't imagine for someone that was like a kid who actually read the comics growing up and took in all the stuff and actually watched all the Snyder movies in theaters when they came out, because I'm a loser, but I'm not that much of a loser.
Thanks. I love that Scotty, it's a compliment sandwich. He was like, this guy spoke so eloquently about Superman. He made me appreciate it even more. The thing I set out to do the Nerd Academy to be like, let's talk about this in a way that makes us feel things. Yeah. And then Scotty's like, also, he's a loser because he likes Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. And yes, I do. For very specific reasons.
Offer you some of Granny's peach tea.
And the reasons I don't like this movie, or don't like Batman v Superman, or the reason why I love Superman.
Hey, let's hear it.
Speaking of Batman, to kind of set the table here, myself, Mr. Radtastic, Dave, love working with him. He's great. He talked about it on his TikTok. He talked about it in the review. I talked about, the correction to the record. To harken to the comics, this is from a recent run. I can't remember how recent or when it was, but it's a very fun panel where Batman and Robin have a gentleman in the Batmobile, and they're getting him out of a bit of a scrape. And the guy in the Batmobile, he looks at Batman and he goes, "Don't be angry with me, but Superman's my favorite superhero." And the next panel is a tight shot on Bruce's eyes, like of the cowl of the Batman mask. And the speech bubble says, "Well, I have something to tell you." And then the next panel is of Batman just very earnestly smiling, with Robin smiling behind him, going, "Superman's my favorite too."
Ooh.
That is what this shit is supposed to be, and I don't want to harp on Snyder stuff. Like, it's a valid interpretation. I understand why people like it, but like, it's an interpretation. This is so much more faithful to the source material. Does not inherently mean good, but it is executed so perfectly. What this character represents is the inherent goodness of man, and the amount of barriers we can break down with ease when that goodness is not just embraced, but becomes a credo to live by. James Gunn distilling the character of Superman down to maybe kindness is the new punk rock is something that only James Gunn could have fucking done. That is an idea and just a phrasing and an angle that only he could have come up with. And I love and respect it so much. This characterization of Superman is perfect. There are people who have this weird, frankly, incel-y, Ayn Randian obsession with Superman being a stoic, with Superman hating being Superman. And I think if you think that is what defines the character from an objective sense, I don't think you can fucking read. Sorry to say that thing. I know Taylor gets angry when I say that about people. But I don't think you can read
Taylor's
it. You
about
think
to
that's
pop into your room.
only
right,
what
like,
you gave her
Just
the
smack
idea.
you.
Yeah, well, but it is so important to the character that it is these radical acts of kindness. And when you look to Superman, when you look to the kindness that defines him in this film, as a character, even right as the mechanic and Ultraman are like fighting to kill this time, there is no soften him up and embarrass him in front of everybody. We are in there to kill you. They have already laid out Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is face down on the baseball field, out cold. First words out of Superman's mouth the moment he gets her pinned down a little bit is, "You guys don't have to do this. It's not too late." I've seen people complaining that Superman feels too weak in this movie. Again, a little bit of critical thinking. Do you think that Superman is too weak? Because we see him absolutely run the ones and put belt to ass with Ultraman, so he can take on a fucking Kryptonian no problem. Is he weak, or is he not using his full strength to preserve the world around him? It's things like that define this character. Little choices. Again, going back to other Superman material, it is most people's favorite Superman moment. The end of Justice League Unlimited, the "I live in a world of cardboard" monologue that he gives Darkseid before he also takes belt to ass with Darkseid in the middle of an evacuated metropolis, where he's talking about, "I live in a world made of cardboard, but it's people like you who give me an opportunity to cut loose and show you just how strong I am." And then he proceeds to punch Darkseid in the face so hard it causes a sonic boom, and he just lifts off the ground and goes into terminal velocity within a second. This character is not just defined by his power. Correction, this character is not just defined by his Kryptonian powers, but by his true power, which is radical acts of kindness and mercy. That is who he is at his core. And to juxtapose this person who just is the best of us, who is the best of what humanity is, what it means to be human, what it means to care for your fellow man, to watch him inspire the supporting cast throughout the movie, to watch the Justice Gang rise to the occasion because of the inspiration that Superman is, to enable bravery, even if, because again, you don't get the Daily Planet crew going, "Oh, I'm going to bravely put myself in the crosshairs of Lex Luthor," like Jimmy Olsen does, talking to Eve Tessmacher. You know, like it's all of that. You know, like Superman is this inspiration who causes that, who gives these children in Jarhampur the inspiration to just chant his name and believe he will come. You know, that is what defines this character, and that is what we need right now when we're living in this moment of, you know, of an active genocide that is being enabled by the world over. When we are living in this situation where these tech billionaires have run the body politic ragged and has completely taken control of it, we need we need to believe a man can fly. We need to believe a man can fly, and we need to believe that we can be like that guy who can fly.
Damn good, Jared. Yes.
Save the squirrel. Save the damn squirrel.
Save the squirrel. Fuck save the cat, save the squirrel. Because the squirrel's
Yes.
the squirrel is just as much of a life as the cat. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is flawless. One of my favorite things. You guys know I love to do my whole character study through fight choreography stuff. One of the best characterizations of Lex Luthor ever is the fact that Lex Luthor has such an intimate understanding of Superman combatively. He understands Superman's powers. He understands Superman's tactics. He understands how Superman functions in a fight. Lex Luthor has a better, more critical understanding of Superman's skill set, maybe more so than Superman himself.
Nice.
He does not understand who he is.
Yeah.
Like, again, they say it in the movie, like, you know his next move even before he makes it. Yeah, you're right, he does. But he doesn't understand why he's making that decision. And he never could, because he doesn't want to.
Nope.
You know, he never actually wants to do that. And nor is he capable of it. And like that, like, again, that idea in and of itself is Luthor. It's that spite, it's that anger, it is the little man complex that he thinks that if he had this power for even a minute, how much more powerful he'd be than this alien who came down from the sky. But to have that thorough understanding and not take into consideration maybe Superman's pet dog, and I know it's technically Supergirl's, but like maybe Superman's ugly pet dog can take out my cameras and render Ultraman useless. You know, like he does not take into consideration the power of being hokey and sensitive and kind. That is the X factor. It's not the super strength. It's not the supersonic speed. It's not the heat vision or the breath or the invulnerability. It's none of that. It is the fucking kindness.
I love this.
That makes him this godlike power and makes him so aspirational. You know, if there's one thing Zack Snyder got right about Superman, it's the kid who did the wrong equation but got the right answer. If there's one thing Zack Snyder got right about Superman, it is the way he can inspire. It is the way that the sacrifices of Superman, even in Snyder's universe, take a cruel Batman and make him stop being a killer. It is the way that the entire world, despite having so much venom for him, mourns his loss when he lays down his life to defeat Doomsday. You know, like that is the power. Like even Snyder got that. And it's in there in some weird ways, and I don't like the presentation, but like even there we arrived at the correct conclusion, just in a markedly stupider way.
Yeah.
You know, and then that is so just breathtaking and so important to me. You know, there's so many other things about this movie. There's a reason why the teen episode is 2.5 hours long. And I'm trying to speed run it, but you know, seeing the supporting heroes here, you know, Hawk Girl doesn't get as much to do, but that's okay. You know, Mr. Terrific, absolute scene stealer. It almost reminds me, funnily enough, I remember whenever Age of Ultron came out, all the early reviews were talking about how Vision like just stole the show. That, like, by the time Vision shows up, there's something just so fun and charming. Yes, Eli, I know Hawk Girl drops Benjamin Netanyahu out of the fucking sky, but I mean, it's but what do you think, Netten? Anyway, but it's a joke for like 5
I'm not
people.
Superman.
Good.
Thank you. But like people were talking about like, oh yeah, Vision shows up and he's just so fun and it's so great. And I was like, oh yeah, Mr. Terrific's that for this movie. Like nobody's going like other than sweaties like me are going in like, oh man, I can't wait for goddamn Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
And then
Goddamn
everybody
Mr.
goes,
Terrific.
yeah, that's goddamn Mr. Terrific. So he was great. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner in a movie that's already made $500 million is so funny to me. It feels like a Mad Lib. It's just so great. It's one of my favorite things I've gotten to tell people, to be like, hey guys, I don't know if you know who Guy Gardner is from the comics, but if you watch this movie, that's it. That's him. The Green Lantern Corps, they don't tell you that the ring gives you all the powers and the ability to make the constructs. They also don't tell you that the Green Lantern ring also gives you the insane power of aura farming in the way to be able to put the little construct box around the kid and then just start immediately mogging on the Baravian army.
Oh, that was great.
Superman couldn't make
so
the kid. Good. You got the upgrade. And I again, like almost started throwing my popcorn at the screen and like taking off my clothes. Like it's just a perfect characterization of Guy Gardner. Yeah, no, this movie understands the character on a fundamental level. This is such an amazing portent of things to come for the DCU. I had another thought that I wanted to hit that I'm fighting for my life to remember right now.
Fight, baby, fight.
1A,
You got
1A,
this.
1A, 1A, 1A.
1A.
Oh, this isn't my thought, but I have to get something off of my chest real quick. It's related to Luthor. Y'all need to stop giving Lex Luthor the credit of putting his hater behavior to Kendrick Lamar songs. These are two different kinds of haters.
Incredible.
These are two different kinds of haters.
That is
He's a Drake for
Jared
sure,
ass
yeah.
line.
No, I do not want to see Lex Luthor set to the Euphoria. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that's not Luthor. Kendrick hates because he loves the game. Luthor is a loser little titty baby. These are two different kinds of haters. Don't besmirch my goat like that.
Do that.
But
Jared ass line right there. That was
yeah,
awesome.
it truly is.
I do definitely want to see a few certain American politicians get done dirty the way Lex Luthor is done dirty at the end of this movie.
He gets taken out by crypto in such a funny way that I legitimately thought they were about to kill Lex Luthor. I had a brief moment where I was like, is crypto?
I thought, yeah, he's gonna come back with his
Luthor
head in his fucking mouth or something. Yeah.
Also, I need to shout out Taylor's favorite line in the entire movie. Get his bald ass to Belle Reeve.
Get his bald ass to Belle Reeve.
Yeah, it's so funny. I even see Eli put it in the chat as I said it. It was funny. The other thing I wanted to talk on it from earlier. The use of comic book storytelling. I'm so sorry I'm going over on this.
No, it's okay. You're supposed to. This is why we just got to make us Fantastic Four just a little bit tighter.
Okay, I could do that.
Tighten the screws.
The acceptance of the comic book general audience. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My voice thing went crazy here on my end. Back in like the 2000s, the word hypno glasses never would have been used. In the early 2010s,
okay,
no one is saying anything about the hypno glasses. In the mid to late 2010s, we will either over-explain the hypno glasses so that people won't do the CinemaSins, Red Letter Media. Why doesn't anybody recognize that Clark Kent is just Superman? Or the term hypno glasses will be used to make fun of how silly the concept is. In 2025, James Gunn is astute enough to understand we will accept it at face value.
Yeah.
To just go, yeah, Clark Kent wears hypno glasses that distorts his face to other people, and it works just fine. And it's done. There's not a joke. Nobody makes fun of it. We don't over-explain it. We take that shit for granted.
Mm-hmm.
That is where we are, and that is where we need to fucking stay. Because I do not want to go back to having to lampshade this shit.
Yep.
Like it's stuff like that is just taken at face value. We take it, we run, cool. Fantastic Four does a ton of it. All of Metropolis is getting eaten by a black hole that came out of an unstable boom tube because fuck you. Yeah, it is, and that's bad. Let's fix that problem, guys. There's no muss, no fuss, nobody stopping to go like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it's taken at full face value as a thing that is happening, and we just accept it. Kevin Feige said it in that big press junket he did.
That's right.
With all the trades, with the whole like, oh, you don't know who Mr. Terrific is? Tough. Watch the movie.
Exactly.
And now you know. Just take it at face value. Just take it at face value. The audience will follow you. Be earnest, be genuine, be authentic, lead with it, and it will work.
How perfectly said, because that's the whole mantra of this movie and Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Just go with it. And that's kind of the soapbox I wanted you to get on that I kind of started off with. Like, if you can write it believably and you can convince an audience believably that this is how this works, no one's going to question it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's part of the problem that comes from watching movies like The Phantom Menace. And, back in the 90s, everyone was convinced that it had to be this certain way. But the best part about the comic books and comic book storytelling is that it was already predetermined. You know what I mean? Like Superman, I don't know why. I mean, was it technically a way to fight fascism? Was that why Superman was technically creative back in the 1930s? I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know.
We
can avoid this.
We can. I can answer this question succinctly.
Okay.
I think. In short, Superman was kind of the of like the Jewish American ideal of a voice for the voiceless, a protector of those who need protected. Okay. And as all superheroes pretty much were, he was drafted into World War II. Mm-hmm. But he kind of started as like again, he is the proto superhero. Yeah. There's elements of it that show up in other media before him, but like Superman is the kind of like condensed, straight farm to table. This is a guy who is the voice of the voiceless, the defender of those who cannot protect themselves. And this is what he exists to do. There is a lot of like cultural underpinnings and very crucial elements to Superman that are directly related to Schuster and Spiegel's Jewish heritage that I'm not equipped to do in under an hour. And frankly, don't feel equipped to do off the cuff, but that is a very important thing to it. So not directly to fight fascism, but very quickly, it was always in the DNA that this is the Superman who bashes the Klan, that like, that is who this hero is at his core.
Yeah.
Right. You're thinking of Captain America. I was just saying
yeah, I am.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know the difference between a Marvel and a DC, a detective comic.
Well, D-Rex, what?
Yeah, I don't know, brother.
Comics.
D-Rex comics. But no, I'm glad you went off on this movie. The movie that did surprise me the most was this one. And I'm glad to have said I think, thoroughly analyzed and reviewed this, even if it was only for about 40 minutes. I just know that this movie is going to hopefully spawn more thoughtful storytelling, not just from the DC universe, but most importantly from comic book storytelling as a whole. Like, I think, not to say Feige's going to pin movies against each other, but there is a certain expectation that has been crossed in this movie in terms of how to effectively tell a story without overtelling a story. If that makes
absolutely.
Sense.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Me yelling from off screen.
Yell, Queen.
I said
Kiss,
it.
girl.
I said it in the Superman review. There's very much a balls in your court kind of chin check that happens here that tells Feige, hey, like, just accept the silly. People will love it. And that's not to say that the MCU has avoided it, But there have been moments where they do kind of play shit for laughs and don't embrace it as thoroughly as they can. And I think it's time that we can do that. And speaking of it being time to embrace it, this is the Fantastic Four one now.
That shirt's fire.
I love this fucking one, bro.
I bet. That one's great. I will say, not that I need to start off each one of these things, but this was this was second anticipated. You know what I mean? Like, this is like number 2, aside from Rebirth. But this is the one that I've seen the most times. I'm going to see it again probably next week. I've seen this twice now, and it only came out last week. I loved this movie. And I really wasn't
a very
attached.
Scotty movie.
I agree. I wasn't attached to those movies growing up like some people were. And I did see all of them, and I haven't told anyone this yet. I haven't told us in our group chat, but my uncle, when Silver Surfer came out in 2006, was that it? 2007? Whenever that one came out.
The Silver Surfer was the same year as Spider-Man 3. I'm going to make Jarod really upset right now.
Yeah.
I was so much happier with Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer than I was Spider-Man 3.
Sorry.
So my uncle, he asked to buy the Silver Surfer display that they had. And this was like back in the 90s.
I know like 5 people who
Uncle
bought
Ricky?
those displays that were in theaters. That
Dude,
is so funny.
And it's like the fully I guess it was fiberglass, like full on surfing, and he had that, and this is classic like divorced man decisions. So him and his wife, they split up in like 2002, and he had like a small studio apartment, and this took up, like, if you were to think about it in terms of like, ground real estate, this one thing took up, I would say, about 1/16 of the entire
Norrin
apartment.
Rad was his roommate.
Yeah,
He was eating. That was his like kitchen table. Was like the
He'd sit
surfboard.
down,
Yeah,
put his fucking pasta plate on the board, and just.
He has like a napkin on its knee or something.
I'm not kidding. I will send y'all pictures of me as a kid with it. But with all that being said, I went into this one super excited. Obviously this is a different universe compared to what we've had in the MCU, which works. I mean, it works beautifully. Seeing it with my mom, who is a child of the 60s, was a really cool experience, because my mom, literally, she's looking at me, she's like, this is exactly how we all thought the future would look when we were kids. Because like it was going in that direction, the optimism of the space age, obviously civil rights movements was a thing in the 60s. There were things that, like, if human beings could work together and get past, where we were then, if they could have effectively done it. Oh, I forget. I've got the thing. Oh, let's say heart, throw a little heart. I love this movie. I loved it. But that being said, I've always felt the same exact way. Retrofuturism, I'm not even kidding, is a Reddit that I was subscribed to back in like 2013. Like, I love that Matt Shackman did this. And funny enough, I didn't watch any of the Fantastic Fours leading up to this. I have been doing a full Always Sunny rewatch, and like I forget how important and good he is at directing an ensemble cast. So there's so many moments. The part that felt the most Sunny was them figuring out how to put the seat in the car seat at the very end. So like there's things like that, or
Absolute
whatever.
Cinema, loved it.
There was the other part too, where Johnny Storm is explaining, who he just encountered and what that was like. That felt like Always Sunny. Like
Johnny loves space. Johnny loves women. Johnny found the sexy space lady, and now he thinks they had a moment. It's so Charlie coded. It's so Charlie coded.
It is.
That was very good.
And I watched it this time looking for Sunny references, and there was none. I thought there would at least be one of, like, when they're showing like, thanks Fantastic Four, I thought there would be at least some subtle reference. But all that being said, to get my desires out the way, I watched this movie. I wasn't expecting a Guardians movie where they all come together and hoorah. Like, this was very much, we're already a unit. We've handled villains before, but this is the biggest threat yet. And I loved it. I really loved what it did for those characters, how it's going to tie into the overall MCU. I'm thrilled to be able to say that I saw that in theaters, because it was definitely worth seeing in theaters. It's gonna be one of those ones that you see it at home. You got to have a good screen. You have to have a good sound system. But the fact that someone's going to watch this on their flight to LA to go buy some weed from some guy named Chuck, it feels such like a sacred thing. You can't waste it on something silly. Like, I couldn't imagine watching this on my iPad, like naked, in my bathtub. Like, it's just not one of those movies. And like,
but you can play me in an unofficial trivia match that way.
Yes. No, enough of my ranting. I just want to say I absolutely love this movie. I love what it did, aesthetically speaking. And I mean, apparently they're going to be going back to that universe.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the more interesting things that Feige had announced, post this movie coming out. But the whole, like, there's going to be a lot of conversations in this kitchen. I was like, holy shit.
That's
like, what is it even?
crazy.
I was like, I know. And like, I was under the firm belief. Remember when Homecoming came out? They like, what are they going to do with the Avengers Tower? Is it going to be the Oscorp Tower?
Everyone was like,
Baxter building?
The Baxter building.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like,
all this shit.
I watched this movie going, man.
I was a Baxter building hardliner. I'm gonna put that out there. I was a Baxter building hardliner.
Multiversal stuff has worked for the most part, but this one taking place in an entirely different universe is what that storytelling is for. If I'm making sense when I say that, like, they didn't have to do, this guy came through this portal, or Doctor Strange did a whole lot of that stuff. Yeah, which I loved. Right, this was very much, it was so believably grounded, because that universe was founded in that exact same concept that we are in this. We have the 60s aesthetic, but we still have conventional things like, international communication, some form of the internet, of them talking and communicating. And I love the ABC stuff. I loved all the tags. The music. Man. I mean, there was so much in this movie that like really resonated with someone that loves looking at the past. And, I don't know, I'm going to keep talking in circles, but I will say this is, and I said it to y'all in our text, I said this might be my favorite Marvel movie of all time. This may be number one. The more I rewatch it,
it's in my top 10. It's in my top 10 without a fucking doubt.
I gotta see it again.
The last thing I will say,
I was talking about earlier, but
watching it with my mom yesterday, which was a great experience. Watching it with my mom, the parts that I was like, man, I was lifted the first time I watched it, but to see someone who has no investment in it watching it, the whole at least 15 minutes, it was almost like the pod race, kind of intense. The whole part where they get to go meet Galactus, to when Sue Storm, and if it's not a spoiler, we see it in the trailers, when Sue Storm has Franklin, all of that 15 minutes. Holy shit. I was like, when my mom gets excited, or she's like drawn in, she sits like this. I'll show you her profile. She's going, so the whole time she's like at her back.
That's
like,
her locking in.
Her posture is like, I gotta sit up straight. And her like,
she literally locks in. Yeah. Like every part of her body.
Like,
I'm the,
like, you might want to loosen up a little bit, Khaki, because you're going to collapse. If you're gonna lose blood flow to your knees.
And I know Jerry said, but when I'm drawn in a movie, I'm leaning forward. I don't know if
you're the meme.
Yeah,
Scotty's the meme.
I was like, I was like that the whole time. But she was like, oh my god, like it never went down. The Hans Zimmer of it all, like everything kept getting bigger until the birth, and then it became like this actual, literally, not even joking here, it actually became somewhat of a climax of like energy, of release, of you can kind of relax now, and then there's like that whole 20 minutes until the final battle. But that's my huge rant.
That scene also has one of my favorite line delivery in the whole movie.
Yeah, and that felt always
Kill
sunny
her,
too,
Johnny.
by the way. Yes.
What?
That was
what? She's trying to kidnap your nephew. Kill her.
Sue Storm had the hardest fucking lines.
Yes,
in the entire thing, man. Yeah, Killer Johnny was so fucking good. That was my favorite. I'm gonna wax bug just a little bit.
Do it.
I'm not very poetic. I'm just gonna talk. Which is what I do. But that space sequence in the middle is maybe the coolest thing I've seen Marvel do in a long time.
Yeah,
like the chase sequence, especially and stuff, like when they had the Silver Surfer actually surfing on shit.
Oh, that was so good.
That was
Oh,
fucking crazy
on
cool.
light.
I was
On
like,
light with the black.
I know you're
hole
like,
sucking
that's
light.
right. Well, that's right. She is a surfer.
Uh-huh.
It was so good. All of that reminded me of you, Sky. It was like it's Interstellar meets
Yes.
meets
2001.
2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know, man. I don't have like I said, I'm not like super connected to these characters. I've seen all. I worked at a movie theater when the first few came out, and so that's my connection to it. But I mean, goddamn, that space stuff, just the whole vibe. It felt people talking about how, like, I know Buck was saying he likes Incredibles better, but this had a very kind of Incredibles feel to me and stuff, which most people say is the like best Fantastic Four movie of all time. Is The Incredibles. But I don't know, man. You can't beat Sue Storm had the hardest moments in this entire thing, man. Sue Storm had the hardest moments, and I know I guess we're trying to stay with the spoilers and stuff,
man.
Bro, at the end, and hearing Vanessa Kirby talk about like her process for doing that scene and like how she wanted to show the very just feminine like nature of motherhood and stuff, like the very the very like this is what like the like you will lift a car off your child if you have to and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like that like raw animalistic motherhood was just absolutely phenomenal, man. That was such a and I don't know, man. I think the relationships were pitch perfect in this. I can't wait to see their interactions with other characters.
Yes.
That's what I'm so excited. I'm excited to see the first time we see them interacting with characters we already know. Which is, again, a very fanboy thing to say, but I'm excited to see them like slide into that and stuff like that. 100%. I really liked how tortured Reed Richards was. I'm again not a comics reader. I've seen the cartoon in the 90s. I watched all those 90s cartoons on Saturday mornings and stuff like that. You know, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Spider-Man, all of it. But to have Pedro, that's just Pedro's acting, right? Like Pedro is just a fucking phenomenal just performer. But like his just the tortured nature of he feels responsible that everyone's like this, you know, and just like I don't know, man. That it was very cool. I'm excited to see where we need to go. And Jarod,
I agree.
Go.
So I'm assuming you both are, but this has kind of been like my main thesis on the movie and what I loved about it so much. Are we all familiar with the term Flanderization and what that means?
No, I'm honestly not.
Like making
Ned Flanders
and live next door.
Oh my god, yes.
No, it is about Ned Flanders. It is about Ned Flanders.
Oh, is it?
So, like it is. So like go back to early Simpsons. Ned Flanders is Homer Simpson's foil because where Homer is dysfunctional and messy and chaotic, Ned is just like this cookie cutter. He's annoying because how perfect he is.
Yeah.
You know, Homer is this degenerate and Ned is super religious. And then we hunker down on the whole evangelical thing about Ned. And then after season after season after season after season, all of the other things that define Ned Flanders are out of the window. And he's just an evangelical kook. Same thing could be said about Patrick Star. Early SpongeBob, Patrick is just a bum. He's just a bum.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's a bum and he's kind of a dipshit. But we focus on the dipshit thing. And now you watch a modern episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Patrick is so stupid that even in the confines of a cartoon, you wonder how this man is not dead.
Yeah.
That he just didn't accidentally eat like under the sea bleach, right?
He did. I'm sure that was an episode.
I had to have been by this point. But that's Flanderization, where like one element of a character is just hyper fixated on to the point where they actually aren't the same guy they were, and not in a developmental way, but in a like we focused on this thing too much. The Fantastic Four as a unit, I think out of all of these characters who have been around for nearly a century, are the easiest to Flanderize. It is very easy to make Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, a kind of one note, like, mom of the group. It is very easy to make the Human Torch a vapid, like, womanizer dipshit. It is very easy to make Ben Grimm the Thing, this self-loathing brute rock monster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to make Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, this like affable dork who's just awkward to the point of not knowing how to interact with people. That is the easiest way to write these characters because they exist as cliches. And it boils them down to the point of just being just whiter than white bread, boring.
Sure.
This movie understands these characters so fundamentally, and it avoids that Flanderization. I like the old school movies. Rest in peace, Julian McMahon. Loved him as Dr. Doom. I watched him in Charmed all the time as a kid. I like those movies for what they are. They absolutely fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the Invisible Woman is not just, because of her feminine sense, is able to hold the group together. She is a diplomat. She is a dyed-in-the-wool leader. She is the strength of this group. She is its moral center. And she has a skill set that has so much synergy with the rest of the group that none of them have.
Yeah.
Ben, Reed, Johnny, they could not be diplomats. They could not be leading the Future Foundation.
Nope.
Sue can. Johnny is kind of an airhead himbo, but he's a goddamn astronaut too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He is an intelligent human being. He is a thoughtful human being. He's a compassionate human being who loves women and loves the fact that he's an astronaut. And he also loves that he is the goddamn Human Torch, baby. Flame on. Loves that shit. Ben Grimm, after a couple years, gets over being a rock monster.
Yeah, 4 years.
It is not his only defining trait. But it is still there. And there's that great moment where like that TV turns off and he looks at his reflection.
Brutal.
And Ben has that.
Yeah.
But hey, people love me. I love what I do. I love my family. The sauce needs a little bit of a zip.
Oh,
God, he was so
he was so good.
Wholesome.
My mom asked me. She goes, "Is he going to be like the whole time?" Because I think she couldn't suspend her disbelief. But like as moments went on, my mom, I could tell, because I asked her, I'm like, "How do you feel by the end of it? Like, did you kind of like did he work as a character?" She goes, "Oh yeah, like I was kind of convinced that he was a real person in the scene." You know what I mean? And that was all practical effects in 2000s, But now you could do it.
I love the Michael
effectively.
Chiklis suit. I love the
Me
suit.
too.
Oh
But,
man, I love me. I love me some Michael Chiklis.
That's right. There he is. No,
There he is.
but in terms of watching this, Jared, I agree. The Thing is the one that was the kind of outstanding character for me. Even the bearded part, I'm like, this looks really good. This looks fantastic. But yeah.
Well, before I hit the read of it all, the thing that's really hard with the Fantastic Four and understanding it, and it's such a difficult tightrope to walk, is that when you think of these team ensemble things, what we tend to think about is the heart and soul of the group, right? And that's a thing that is attributed to one person.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four splits the heart and the soul. And the soul is Sue, but the heart is Ben. And that's so it's such a weird, and it's so hard to put into words. I was talking to Alden about it. He said it's the strength versus the sensitivity that again, in a weird kind of lizard brain way, we think, oh, the sensitivity should go to Storm. No, she's the strength. Sue's the strength. The
Mhm.
sensitivity is Ben Grimm. But with Reed,
He's so good at it too.
he's
Sorry.
flawless. With Reed,
When he like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say, Jerry?
Well, I was gonna say the very early on when they're announcing the pregnancy and he gets it right away, you know,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
part was I loved that moment when he's like, "Are you pregnant?" and stuff. Like he gets it right away. You were saying he's like so in tune with these people that he loves. Yeah, no, that was absolutely perfect, pitch perfect.
And with Reed, the thing that is why Reed Richards is one of my favorite Marvel characters is that there is a quiet narcissism to Reed Richards that is really hard to get right, because there are so many of like the pantheon of the Marvel characters who we all love, who are super arrogant and they're showboaty. Tony Stark, Stephen Strange to a certain extent. That's this whole thing baked into these characters that we love, right? But with Reed, he knows he's the smartest man on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds himself to a standard because of that. A standard that no right-thinking human being has any business holding themselves to. It is not the, Tony Stark, that guy's playing Galaga. You thought we didn't notice, but we did. I don't know why. I don't know why I gave Tony a very Trump cadence. He's playing Galaga.
Hey, playing Galaga.
People are saying they're playing Galaga on the Shield helicarrier. Sleepy Nick Fury's letting it happen. Call him One-Eye Nick. Call him One-Eye Nick. Got his that scarred out by a cat. A little cat. He scratched out like a dog.
Fuck. Shoot that guy. I'm sorry. I'm in Jared. That's what I meant. Sorry, I'm in Jared. Yeah, sorry.
But like
sorry, FBI.
With Reed, it is such a difficult thing to balance, because you can do the awkward nerd, but that's not who he is. Like Reed does fundamentally believe in himself to a degree that is insane. But it's not in a showboaty way. It's in a, like you said, Jerry, it's in a very somber, mournful way,
Yeah.
and it's what defines him. And, it's what puts a lot of people off of him. Reed has no business acting like he ever could have prevented the cosmic rays from affecting them. He has no business acting like he could have done something about that. That's like me acting like it's my fault if the power goes out because of a crazy storm. What the hell was I supposed to do about that?
Exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Reed thinks he could have done something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, something's wrong in here for you to think that. But he cares so much.
Yeah.
And it's because he loves his friends, but he knows how smart he is. And and that fucks you up as a person. That's why I love Reed. That's why, in the comics, there's a multiversal version of Reed called The Maker in the Ultimate Universe, where he's a villain. It's basically Reed if that narcissism manifests the same way it does in Doctor Doom, where it's that like, oh, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than all of you, I'm the only person who can be trusted with like with the power of a god. All of you little ants, get out of your way, because I can protect you from yourselves better than you can handle yourself. And that's what makes Reed so compelling, is that like he could go that way, but this is actually who he is.
Yeah.
And I will say, I was skeptical of Pedro Pascal as the casting. I was very much on board with Matt Smith. I was very much on board with Adam Driver when those rumors were circling. And I said this on, yes, Eli, you're right about the Council of Reeds. That's another cool thing that I look forward to that I think we're going to get. But like I said this on Nerd Academy review, I am fully convinced that between Matt Smith, David Tennant, Adam Driver, Pedro Pascal, the scene they had them read had to have been the Bad Thoughts monologue. Because now that I know that they actually did a version of Reed Richards, now that I know that they did the version of Reed Richards that is so centered on that quiet but bizarrely compassionate narcissism, that is the trait that binds all four of those actors. It had to have been that. It had to have been that, because it's very much the Doctor between Tennant and Smith. We've seen Driver play like tortured genius. and with Pedro, the like conflicted father who has to move heaven and earth, like they say in the movie, to protect his child.
So good.
And I was like, and finally seeing the movie, I went, that is how all of these actors were up for this role.
Mm-hmm.
Because Smith, Tennant, Driver, Pascal, that is a wild group of people to play the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
That is a wild run of people.
Right.
But no, and I was so impressed by Pedro. Like I said, I've thought about the Bad Thoughts scene since I saw the movie. It's so good, and it's such a perfect encapsulation of what makes Reed Richards Reed Richards. I love that you were saying, Scotty, this idealized world of what we remember the 60s as, and what they could have been. And I also love that in this world that like they didn't ever try to frame it as though the Fantastic Four solved racism, solved the Cold War, solved the rise of Nazi Germany. They never frame it as that they fixed it. It's that they inherited a world that was like ready to be better.
Yeah.
And that type of collectivism is such a big theme throughout the movie. I don't think it is by accident that a world led by this team that is so selfless, that is so willing to give everything and more for each other, inspire this world that is so ready to do the best for the world at large and for the greater good, is juxtaposed against a villain who is kind of this like manifestation of like a rugged individualism, that it truly is a story about collectivism versus individualism, where Galactus is ready to do anything and everything for himself, up to and including recruiting the Silver Surfer, that like what he does to Shia LaBeouf, another great performance from Julia Garner, that like that whole idea of, I'll save your people, but you got to fuck up a bunch of other people for me.
That's right.
Right.
Cool. It's that rugged individualism versus the whole world agreed we're shutting off all of our power for a few hours so that the Fantastic Four can use their silly teleportation portals. And I think that's a huge theme that I really love and the way it's implemented.
And that's the idealism of Superman and the Fantastic Four worlds that we've seen that we wish that ours could be, because he couldn't even fucking wear a damn mask.
Nope.
Yeah.
And shit for like a little while without like losing our fucking shit.
I could tell you firsthand, not to bring it up, but it's something that I've experienced. It is like that in Japan, however. Like it's just something, it's an Americanized problem,
Yeah,
like
it's us. We are the problem.
It is.
Yeah.
It is we know better. We know better for everyone. You said something earlier, Jared, about heart and soul, and I immediately thought of this quote. Can anyone guess what this is from? Your heart is fragile. You feel rejection and pain, but pain is part of being alive. You truly can understand others, and they can't truly understand you. But that's what it means to live as yourself. The self is something that you can only exist in opposition to others.
Sounds almost like a hedgehog's dilemma to me.
Yeah. It's like there's an instrumentality to it.
I know.
Go, young boy, and you'll become a legend. Coming soon to the
Anyway, I
love you guys.
Bringing it back to Evangelion.
I love you guys. I know we've all waxed poetic on all these things. The last thing I'll bring up is Galactus, because Eli specifically asked for it.
Yeah,
Galactus.
With the.
I love, and this is obviously a spoiler discussion. I don't think anyone realized that.
I can say, producer Steve, if you're in the chat, run away. Run away. Torrent this movie or something. I don't know. Don't torrent it.
I love all
Dr. Doom eats the baby.
My mom even said it. She goes, I kind of like how the bad guy just kind of explained where he was from. I'm like, I agree. Like they didn't have to do any digging. He was like, I was once small like you were, like it was all very straightforward. But
the only way they could have done that even more on the nose is to have him just be like, hello, my name used like in a very like annoyed like way, like, yes, my name was Galen of Ta. I got into some shit with a Celestial.
Yeah.
I'm Galactus now. You're
No.
aboard the Ta 2, which is the name of my ship. Ta was my home world. I eat planets. Give me your baby.
So like I do love that they don't explain. He just has a hunger to eat planets. But like, obviously, when you're watching the subtext, my mom was even asked, like, why does he do that? I'm like, well, I think the heat from the planet's cores is what gives him power. And like, that's why the machine grinds it up. And like, he uses that as a source of power.
There's a nice little bowl of mush in there.
Yes. And like, he had it like all chained to his back. And like, that was a big part whenever, whenever Reed like breaks that valve and it pops out. Like, I love a person that's made of true heat and energy. Like, it's kind of a cool idea. Is like what not what stars are made of, but what planets are made of. The core that is just as hot as a star. Like, there's some really cool ideas there. But watching it, my mom made up a good theory. Obviously, it's not true, but mom seems to believe that Galactus is from an alternate version of Earth, because whenever he goes and grabs the ground and smells the ground, like, he kind of gives a familiar look, and especially looks back at the Statue of Liberty, it's like an acknowledgement of what he came from too. And that the subtext in that scene, that is peak Matt Shackman, because like, for those that don't know, a lot of Sonny has some really incredible subtext in it, but like that in particular, it's the fuck you. A lot of that.
Y'all forget that I've also watched.
I know. You're on the same train as me. Me, you, and Ken. We got to get Jerry on it. That's the next thing I got.
I got to hop back on. I got off a couple stops too early. So
I know. But personally, I love what that character means. The idea of greed and like, you can't stop it once you start it, like an addict, like there's some really good subtext there, but in terms of his scenes, like absolute, like showstopper, like stole the movie at moments, like had your attention and will be utilized again, which is so exciting. That was the part that got me the most pumped up. I didn't think they're going to be able to, they couldn't even make a dent in that dude. Like they couldn't even like when he described him as bugs, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was the kid in the anthill. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what he was. But yeah, for me personally, probably one of my favorite villains in Marvel. I think as good as Thanos. But yeah, Thanos.
Scotty, I need you to mark these words, okay?
Yeah.
Ultimate nullifier. Don't Google it. Just get ready for some science fiction bullshit the next couple of years.
Okay, perfect.
I vaguely know of this.
Wild.
Can I look it up?
Shit. Go for it. Go for it. Because it's going to be so ridiculous, it's still going to get you going when it happens. And I'm saying I love this shit, man. It's off.
What is this? What the fuck? Fictional device. Fictional device, immense power. Hold on. It's from Galactus's like lair. What is this thing? It's just like a little robot.
That can kill Galactus.
I love this. All right, Jerry, you talk. We gotta wrap this thing up. We've been going for almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours now.
Well, I mean, what else is there to say that we've been talking about this thing for like a while here. I mean, fuck, man, y'all are making me want to go see it again because I've only seen it the once.
Dude, go see it
so bad.
I've seen Superman 3 times. I just haven't had a chance to go see this. I got to see Naked Gun this weekend. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go see this again.
This is good, Ken. I like this, Ken.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ken coming in with the facts.
Oh man, the Franklin stuff. That's a whole different conversation. I'm sorry. I love it.
Well, that when she goes out and like I was like, because I was wondering how this was going to play out because you had all the people like it's like and I heard this in 10,000 sermons back in the day whenever I was like a Christian. The metaphor of there's this disease. By the way, this is a pre-COVID thing.
Yeah,
there was a disease that everyone's getting in the world and stuff, and they were testing all these people's blood because they need to see if we can find the right person's blood, we can make a cure. And your son, he's got the right blood, but we need all of it. Would you give up your son to save the world? And it's a metaphor for Jesus dying for your sins and stuff like that. But to actually have that play out in this, I was a little, where the fuck are we going with this? Is Pastor George going to be proven right? Do we have to give this baby's blood to, and 1,000 like Christmas songs will be played year round on K-Love because of this one
K-Love.
This
Damn.
one baby. But that whenever Sue goes downstairs and like gives that talk to everyone, which is like, again, it's like, I don't know, man. That was so powerful.
Yeah.
Just like that. I don't know. Like, it goes back to what you were saying, Jared, about this being, they inherited a world that was already ready to live up to the ideals and stuff, is just so right and such a good read on this. And no pun intended, because that's his name, remember?
Fantastic read.
Did you see what I did? It was a very fantastic read.
Stupid.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I love this. I loved how Reed was baby proofing the world before Franklin got there, by sending out all the he captured every single like criminal like mastermind,
like villain. Yeah,
everyone was going to jail in space cars. It was absolutely insanity in the best way. I don't know. This has been a crazy good summer for film.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. Thank God.
I want to rewatch. This made me want to because I want to rewatch Thunderbolts pretty soon, because that one was like an early favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Which again, technically not summer, I guess, but it kind of sneaks in there. But anyway, yeah, no, this has been a great, I think, conversation. Anyone else have any last minute thoughts to put in there? Galactic, by the way, Ralph Ineson is a national treasure, and I'm sorry that they posted the pictures of him doing bronze face and stuff on social media for this. Did you see those? That was absolutely crazy. He looks like he looks
all the
like
protocol
he's
droids
like,
are trying to cancel him now.
well, I was gonna say he looks like one of those like brass figures on like a brass knickknack on someone's shelf or something, But anyway, it was fantastic.
Yeah. I love you guys. This has been a good discussion. Jared, let's plug your show and get the hell out of here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you guys can find me over at the Nerd Academy podcast, our main show, Nerd Academy podcast. We've been doing all the Super Jurassic-tastic. There's a Super Jurassic-tastic month playlist over there. So come on over, talking Marvel, DC, Star Wars, kind of the core three for us. Next week, we are going to be doing a Acolyte 1 year later episode.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm sure the comment section are going to be fucking normal.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're going to be very chill.
There's going to be people having a normal day in my comments about that, I'm sure. So come over, check that out. Obviously we are looking forward to Avengers Doomsday. I have a little something in the works about that, so stay tuned and check out our Patreon for early access to a little something as we embark on the road to Doomsday. Wink, wink. But yeah, on the Mitch 692 channel, that was rough.
We did it in sync. That was crazy.
Horrific, actually. On the Mitch 692 channel, we have our show Pro and Noob, where Mitch from Comic Book Cast is taking me through a bunch of anime. We did Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is why these two are obsessed with it. I am Patient Zero. We did Cowboy Bebop. We did Princess Mononoke. We did the Clone Wars micro series, and we are right now doing week-to-week coverage of season 2 of Dan to Dan. So come check that out over there. Having a great time with that. And then Epic Confrontations, Hyperspace Gauntlet 2, August 9th. Very excited.
Next weekend, not
Next
this,
weekend.
but the following.
Next weekend, 8984M. I see you, Dan.
That's right. That's right, motherfucker.
Was cracking that intro.
Sorry, I'm
you know
trying
what
to be
else?
Shikari for a second here. There we go.
You know, there was also a crack in me winning the Hyperspace Gauntlet. So stay tuned to watch me put a bunch of motherfuckers in the dirt. Fantastic, ain't it, bitches?
Fourth place, more like it.
Gonna be first place and challenging little boy Diaz to take that belt off his shoulders. What else? And then our remaining systems, Ionized Bastards, the Star Wars RPG series we did is over now, and it breaks my heart. But we have a High Republic one coming very, very, very soon. So stay tuned over at All Remaining Systems. And those are all of my plugs.
Plug was 3.5 minutes. Good job, bud. We have, of course, we'll be live next Thursday, and it's actually like the first Thursday after I start school, so that's always fun. Nothing on the docket. I know future plans. I can tell this to a couple, everyone watching. We're gonna do a discussion, I think, in the next 2 weeks about theatrical movie experiences, and we'll have Eric Cotterman on for that for his great return after like a 3-year hiatus. So it's gonna be nice to have Eric on for that.
Oh yeah.
But like we're going to be adding more to our Patreon as the month goes on. We will not have empty promises. We will have all those links in the description as we kind of refine Bombad Cast. Expect like a lot more shorts in the works. We have been working diligently on getting that a thing. And thank you for everyone that joined the membership this evening. That was really awesome to see. Yes. So many people become new members tonight. We had 5 new members, and the more we get, the more emojis we can add, and the more we have access to do certain things for this channel. But we're gonna give Jarod the final line.
Can I suggest an emoji? Should do an emoji of me when I lost our first trivia thing.
Done. All on it. Yes,
I don't
sir.
know. I don't like not to sound like an absolute egomaniac. I don't know how me going wasn't already in there. Honestly, it acted.
Well, there's a couple of screenshots of you that we could probably throw in there. You know, maybe
quite a few. Some more incriminating than others.
Yeah, some of them we might have to save for the Patreon, you know, like a highest Patreon tier.
With all that being said, Jarod, what should the good people do?
Mike's down for this, Jordan. Stay Monday!
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it? Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? Alzheimer's disregard